Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, it's the day. Are you ready? Because it is time for the Moogerfooger Effects Bundle, all 8 plugins by Moog, and I'm excited. So let's get to it. Hello, I am Jade. This is How to App on iOS, and today is the day. Finally, we are going to be taking a look at the Moogerfooger Effects pedals that have finally dropped from Moog, and it's very, very exciting because they're very, very good. And before we get into having a look at these amazing pedals, these effects pedals, I'm going to give you a little bit of history on Moog and why, first, these are so important, yeah, because there is a lot of history behind Moog. Without Moog's existence, a lot of the things we have now wouldn't exist, yeah? So there's a lot of cool things that have come from Moog, and the music industry changed because of Moog. It is very, very true. Let me say hello to you all in the chat, and then we'll get into it. It's going to be a little bit of a long one today because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pedals in this bundle. It's going to be fun. Hello, Ed B. Metal. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Thomas Christ. Thank you as always for sending people over. If you did come over from Leela's show, welcome. Where are we? Fat Panda Cat. Hello to you, Greg O'Sullivan. Of course, you wouldn't miss this. Midnight Bandit is here as well. Hello to you. Jim Shannon, what's going on? There he is. Jim Shannon's already bought one of them. Ed's already bought the entire bundle. Of course, because it's just one of those things. If you are lurking, jerking the gherkin, hello to you too. Hello, Andy, and welcome aboard. We're going to get into it. We're going to do it. Let me tell you first, before we do that, one little piece of advertising. Are you a wart warrior? Well, I want to thank you for becoming a wart warrior, because there are currently 114 wart warriors, and that is an achievement within itself. That's just mind-blowing. I'm so thankful for that. Well, this month we finally have one of our wart shows coming back, and yes, it is happening. It is here. It is the Wart Warrior Quiz number 4. It's on the members part of the channel. If you would like to go and click the link to it, save it, set your reminder, because it's a private-only members channel, and it's 50 questions. It's alternative music this time. And this time the host with me is Brad Example. So it's going to be a barrel of fun. I hope you can join us for that. There'll be more details on how you can join the stream. Now, there's only a limited number of seats, so you've got to get in quick. And it may be viewed publicly, so you may be able to watch it live but not interact in the chat and see what it's all about, because the quizzes are pretty crazy, mate. Hello, Brad. Hey, everyone. I just got my booster kind of set up. I'm way behind the chat and the show. Internet's super sketchy, but I have a little internet. Brad's out camping at the moment. He's out camping, having a good time. Hello, Falcro. What's going on? Ricky Neal, hello to you. All right, let's cover the news and stuff quickly, and then we'll get into a little bit of history, and then we'll get into these apps, because there's a lot to get into. Over at thebeatcommunity.com, where I tell you all to go and check it out, add it to your favorites. You can get latest updates on, as you can see, desktop software, samples and expansions, and iOS software updated every day. Nembrini, looks like they have dropped their Delay 3000 modern repeater. Molly Labs has a new update. OSC has released Pocket Oscilloscope, and Gospel Musicians have Blue Beast, which we'll be looking at next week. Any other price drops I can talk about here? Nothing really changed from yesterday, except the Nembrini app that has dropped, called Bud Session stuff on sale. We'll skip over this because today we're looking at these. And you'll see in my list here we have Of course, the Mini Moog Model D synthesizer and the Model 15 modular synthesizer, which we're going to talk a little bit about in a second, and the Moog Z synthesizer. Did you know Moog also behind the invention of the theremin? There you go. But these are the apps we're looking at today, and they are not in order here, but they are titled as MF 101, MF 102, all the way up to 109, but 106 doesn't exist. There you go. So, and they are all $9.99 for each individual pedal, or you can buy them right now. So these are sale prices, or you can buy them in a bundle, get all 8 of them for $39. That's going to go up. It's going to go up to like 70 bucks. It's going to be crazy. So if you're going to get them, I'm telling you, man, then now is the time. These things are ape shit. They just have technology in them that I've not witnessed before, just with connectivity. They're just utterly fantastic. Hello, Princess LDG. Long time no see. I hope you're settling in since you move and all that jazz. All right, shall we do a little... I'm not sure exactly when the offer ends. If we click on it, I don't think it says on the description. If we go to the bundle, I don't think there's a mention of it. But I would expect it's not for too long. Maybe I can find out. Maybe I'll ask. I'll see if I can ask after the show. My contact at Moog. All right, we're going to cover a little bit of history, because a lot of people probably would have no idea what Moog is all about. I mean, I missed out on all this stuff because when I was growing up, I was playing metal, you know. I'm 50 years old. I was in the metal scene, doing gigs when I was 15, playing metal. Electronic music was something I heard on the radio in the 80s and went, and these days it's all, it's part of my favorite music. So let's just talk about synthesis, because the Moog invented synthesis pretty much. Yeah. So Dr. Robert Moog was the brains behind Moog and the invention of the Moog synthesizer. This is a modular synthesizer. You've probably seen things like this before. So modular synthesis is all these components. Now, this is analog technology. Let me bring up some images here. This is analog technology. This is patch cables. When all this began, this is putting patch cables into sockets and connecting everything together, and it was all bleeps and bloops and blops. And the original synthesizers, they weren't tuned. I mean, the people who were getting into this were experimental people who were trying to find brand new sounds and toying with this new technology. And let me tell you, when electronic synthesis first came about, I mean, you got people now who were freaking out now about AI. Back in the 60s and early 70s, the same shit was going on. People were freaking the absolute out over this new technology, over modular synthesis, over bleeps and bloops, over circuitry replacing instruments. People were freaking out completely. And there was a subsect of people that were like, nah, you can't beat violins and guitars, and this is how it is. But of course, there's always those fringe dwellers who are on the cusp of new technology. Robert Moog created this, and you had experimental people getting into this. Interestingly enough, the one of the biggest buyers of this technology were advertising companies and television, making jingles, yeah? And it was being used in film and television, and this is where it really took off. It wasn't until the 70s, until the Moog synthesizer, because these were big units, man. I mean, look at that thing. This wasn't something you just like picked up and these were big units, incredibly large units. And they had many revisions, the first ones. So you would have seen at the beginning there, we showed these apps. Let me just jump down. So many revisions of these beautiful pieces of machinery. And these things go for literally tens of thousands of dollars these days. You can see here the reissue prices here of $35,000. And, you know, these things are very hard to get and very expensive these days. And you would see down here the Model 15. Yeah. We are lucky these days. We are so lucky because we have things like the Model 15 modular synthesizer in an app for $29. Amazing. So obviously these synthesizers, like everything, go mainstream and everything gets shrunk down. And here we have the Mini Moog. So this thing was the next thing that, this was when rock artists picked this shit up. You had all of the big bands, yes, everyone, even Bob Marley was using these things. Reggae music was using them, and electronic synthesis had now found this new place. It was no longer an experimental tinkering of people for artists, or for creative types. And remember, all of this was not like ones and zeros like we have these days. This is analog. Every single one of these were built individually, handmade, using a circuit board and everything passing through electricity on a circuit board. And it wasn't until they started to add tuning to these to actually be able to tune and keep pitch, because, the original modular synths didn't have a keyboard. It was all patching things in, and you can still see a lot of people using modular now, but here, people wanted keyboards, so they had to include into these chipboards tuning parts along with the resistors and everything like that. Anyway, the Moog took off, and if you go back through, you can go through so many albums throughout the 70s and 80s where Moog is featured. The sounds are just so known. It is one of the most known devices out there and most sought after. And it didn't even just reach, it reached orchestras. I've seen videos of orchestras playing with whole Moog synthesizers, modular synthesizers. So very important stuff. Very important. This is where oscillators and VCOs and all this stuff has come from, the things we look at every day and take for granted. But of course, during the 80s, things changed, didn't they? Because digital came in and ones and zeros. And once digital came in, Moog took a bit of a hit and disappeared for a while, and everything was digital. And, we moved into this digital age, and it wasn't for a time. And then, of course, there's people still using analog because of, there's always tribality within this stuff. But towards the late 90s and 2000s, along came something spectacular, and that is what we're going to be looking at today. And these are a bunch of pedals that, funnily enough, were aimed at guitarists and bass players initially, and they flocked to them. They loved them. So it's a selection of Moogerfooger. The name says it all. It's fantastic. Moogerfooger pedals, and these things. Here's a picture of them. They're not small. Think about a Boss guitar pedal. You got about this big. These things are bigger than my hand. They're like this, man. They're gigantic. They're massive. And if you have a look at these, they got these amazing CVs in the back. You don't see this with guitar pedals these days. It's a plug on one side and a plug on the other. The connectivity of the Moogerfoogers is the thing that has just kept them in people's hearts forever. And the tones, it is the analog richness that has made Moog who they are and why they're so sought after, that these pedals they're very sought after these days. And I'm telling you, man, to buy one of these days, just one, right? This one, the 104, $3,500 secondhand. We're not, look at this one, the MF101 on Reverb, secondhand, $1,000 just for a pedal. These things are very sought after, and they're discontinued now. So they are absolutely discontinued. But thankfully, Moog announced, I think it was 2017. I could be wrong. I can't remember the exact date. But they announced they're going to release these pedals on desktop computers, and they came out, and everybody was going nuts for them. And they're a little bit more expensive than what we've got here on iOS. We're very lucky, but now they're here on iOS. And the amazing thing that they have done before which we're going to have a look at them in a second, is the connectivity. This stuff at the back here, the CV connectivity, has been retained. And you can actually connect these pedals all together in different tracks and have them all controlling each other, and even have them controlling themselves and looping in on themselves. I mean, there's a reason why you're probably seeing all over the internet at the moment, especially the iOS sphere, that, man, these things you got to have because they're good. Yeah. Anyway, there's let's just have a look at them quickly. So the MF101 is a low pass filter. Yeah. The MF102 is a ring modulator. And I know you're probably just getting, is that all? It's just a ring modulator? It's more than that. The MF104, we got the MF103 is a phaser. The MF104 is an analog delay. Of course, we love a good analog delay. The MF105 is called the MRF, so it's a multiple resistance filter array. Then we've jumped one, so there's no MF106. We've got the MF107 here, which is the frequency box. The MF108, which is the cluster flux. Oh, I said it wrong. Cluster flux. There you go. But did you know, here's this. This is interesting. There was at one time an MF106. It was an April Fool's joke. Moog's music website announced another new Moogerfooger for an April Fool's Day joke. The MF106 TC analog time compressor supposedly had the ability to compress the time stream rather than expanding it like a digital delay pedal, which would then give musicians the ability to hear notes before they actually played them. Can you imagine how many people tried to buy that? Anyway, you got to love a company with a sense of humor, right? So there's been multiple times they've released April Fool's pedals that weren't real. Look, so there you go. Good stuff. All right, let's jump in. Now, you've had a little bit of a history. And look, if you've been bored and you're watching on the replay of this, I'll try and put a timestamp down if you know all this stuff. I'm really fascinated. I watched a couple of documentaries on Dr. Robert Moog last night. Now, I think just what a fascinating human being. Rest his soul. Without him, I mean, so many of these amazing sounds would not exist. And I remember, I'll just give you my personal account of this. When I started this show 3 years ago, I just thought synthesizers would just find a patch and play the notes. Now I'm so obsessed with filters and envelopes and oscillators. I'm so obsessed with synthesis, and you know, it's an incredible thing. I never thought I would be so obsessed with synthesizers, and luckily there's so many synthesizers that come out each week. It's a good thing. Well, thank you, Leela. Hello to you, Leela. Hello, FPC. Hello, Dean Thomas. Good to see you, my friend. Who have I? Have I missed people? Mars Capone, what's going on? Good friend. Trimmer Bear is here as well. Trying to catch up, see if I've missed people. My comments stop here. There's Chad Freeman. Man, my eyesight, even these glasses are shit. Well, I've run out of comments there, so I'll just have to... If I've missed you, I do apologise. All right, let's do this thing. Mars says, I was pretty anti-synth when I started playing music. I was as well, man. I was totally. Yeah, look, Thomas, it's coming. It's coming. I've been, you know, I bought this thing, you know, last year, was it? And I love this thing so much. It just keeps getting better and better. This is the Arturia Mini Microfreak. And yeah, look, starting small maybe. And I do watch Wall's channel, who's got his own modular little thing that it's getting bigger and bigger. So who knows what could happen. All right, enough of my yammering. Let's jump over here because we've got a lot to go through. I have a project here in AUM. We're going to be looking at these in AUM. Now, you'll notice we've got I think there's almost one of each running here. So let's just play this and we'll come back, and then I've got another project to start going through how these all work. So things are going to get a bit crazy, right? Don't expect these things to just make your milk tea music. These things take music to can go to some pretty wild places. That's what's amazing about them. Let's do it. Incredible stuff. So let's clear this out of here. You'll notice some of these are all interconnected to each other and controlling each other. So we'll clear this and we'll start very simply and go through how each and all of these work individually and how they all connect together. And then we'll have a look at them in something like Logic as well, because they work beautifully in Logic. It's like they're made for it. So we're going to grab this whole demo here. So all I have in this demo here is just one instance of our brand new app that I haven't covered yet, but we are looking at next week, and that is the Blue Beast from Gospel Musicians, which is the EX5, and man, this thing sings like a bird. And then we're going to go through each of these one by one. So what I've got down the bottom here is just keeping it nice and simple. We're going to bring up our keyboard. And that's it. You're just going to keep a nice chord being held. So we've got number one here, we'll introduce the MF101S. This is a filter. Let's make it full screen so you can see what is going on. We don't need these chords down here. Okay, to kick off with, before we jump into any of the controls of each of these, you're going to see a lot of the same things in these, a lot of the same circuitry, but you'll find out why. Up the top here, we have presets. Of course, we can save presets as. We've got an initial preset we can always click on, go back to whatever. We can open the manual for each of these. They all have their own manuals. There you go. And they're beautifully laid out, really detailed. So if you get lost, presets, switches, so how to do your switching at the back with the CVs, every one of them has their own manual, and you can get to the manuals two different ways, either through that little hamburger icon up there with open manual, or in the settings down here, open manual. And if you've got any problems, the app's not working, it's crashing, or there's any bugs, don't go to the App Store and leave a shit review, okay? Don't do that. Contact us for help. Click that. Let them know, yeah? So, also in the settings, worthwhile to check out the settings all the time, because you'll find some additional stuff in here. Like this one has mono and stereo, so this is something you wouldn't get with the original pedals, the ability to use stereo, yeah? Exponential response or a smooth response, completely up to you. All your presets are up the top here for each app, and they all have a nice selection of presets, yeah? So there's heaps of presets in each of them. And they're all fun, crazy, they're all loony, so you're gonna have lots of fun to do stuff like that. Let's click off there. CV, let's click on CV here. And you'll notice when you click on that, it opens up this little back part of the pedal. So these are where your CV inputs are, so you can connect other pedals to other pedals. And let's start here. So you'll see each of these, if I zoom in a little bit more, you can see there's the option to connect any other pedal to the cutoff, the resonance, the envelope amount, or the mix. And I can just click on this and it gives me a list of other pedals that are open. Now, it doesn't matter what track the pedals are on. They can be on a track anywhere. With a drum somewhere else in Logic, another track, or here on Logic, they can be in AUM, they can be anywhere. And what's really cool is, because you can get quite lost, because you can see there's a lot of pedals here. You can see the MF102, the 103, and if you've got multiple 104s open, how do you know which one's which? Yeah? Well, here's the clever part. With each pedal, when you click on the CV, you're given a little tag up here, TRGJ. And these change every time you open a brand new pedal. Yeah? So this one is the TRGJ. And now if we click on this cutoff, go down here, you'll see the 102 has a XQ at B. So they all have their own little numbers here so you can find which one it is you want to connect. Super, super stuff. Really intelligent stuff there from Moog. I wouldn't expect anything fucking less. So there you go. We'll come back to connectivity, but let's click off the CV and let's mess around with this filter, shall we? Hello, Dom. What's going on? And who else did I say? Kingers. Hope you're doing well. Anyone who I may have missed? Hello, hello. Here's the filter. Okay, so we've got a 2-pole and a 4-pole. Beautiful. Listen to that beautifulness. Hello, Pete. What's going on, my friend? Filters. All right, so we've got a resonance, of course. Let's make this thing squeal. Man. Sick. All right. I could sit here and play with these knobs all day. We've got an envelope. And we have an envelope follow rate, so we can slow down our follow rate. Listen to that movement. And of course, here in AUM, all the parameters are available, so you can add your own LFOs if you want. But we won't need to do that yet, but you can. Each of the pedals have a drive button. So essentially you can use these as a fucking distortion pedal. I mean, these things were geared to guitarists, remember that. And we've got an output. You can turn them on and off. And you've got so many presets. This is where things get absolutely wild. And we don't even have anything else connected. So many. What's this one? Wobbly Bobbly. Listen to that beautiful movement. All coming from just a held chord. Lovely stuff. Okay, so there's our first one. Let's jump over to the second one. And you can hear that as soon as we brought this in. This is MF102. This is the ring modulator. Same controls, yeah. Now, when you click your CV, there's your back. You've got a few more different options here at the back. You can actually click here to open this and close. Let's hear this ring modulator, yeah? What can this do? So here's our mix button. We've got a mix up the top. Hello, Lady Campion. Lady Campion is appearing over at Dom Torregrosa's show after this. Oh! Dirt! Let's give it some drive. Okay. We've got an LFO. We've got some squares, and we got a sine wave. And we've got our rate. So currently the rate is not connected to our BPM, which is set to 100, but we can LFO sync it. Now we are Moogerfoogers. Let's switch from low to high. We're on high at the moment. Oh! What the fuck? I feel like I'm at THX. Man, we don't even have any dry mix in here too. Let's bring in some of the dry. Shall we hit some presets? Now remember, each of these has settings over here. You can use mono, stereo, panning. We've got reverse selected at the moment. You can change the LFO to bipolar, to unipolar. Try and make sure I don't blow your ears out today. I feel like I'm in a David Lynch movie now. We're watching Eraserhead live. What about this sweeping metal? So there's just one pedal doing all this. But if we put in a... That didn't work. I'm getting ahead of myself. Calm down. Okay. What's next on the list, huh? We're going to be looking at the phaser next. Let's bring in the phaser. Oh, good God. So this is, we don't even have anything set here. So we have an output mode of main, main auxiliary, and auxiliary main. We've got an LFO type of stereo or mono. Wow, do you hear that? So there's our mono LFO. Delicious. I love that every pedal has its own little unique set of options on the back end, yeah? Now remember, every pedal has a distortion and output. I think I already said that. So we've got a phaser sweep, we've got resonance, we've got a 6 and 12 stage phase, we've got an LFO and a rate. So we're on 6 stage, let's give it a 12. Hey, good. Thank you for joining us today. These things are off the charts, man. Let's bring in the LFO. Oh my God, I just got goosebumps. I think it's almost acting like the brown noise. It's altering my state. Fuck, I love music. Hello, Frank Terzo in the chat. We can sync this, of course. Now you can even do crazy things, right? You could even go over here and we can send like, we can send this. What do? We'll go over to this sweep 2. What are we? FBAU. So there's our code up here, FBAU. And we can send the LFO into itself. We can do whatever we want. The sky's the limit. And underneath each of these, you've got an amount. Let's go through some presets. This is the calm burn. Of course, I'm not going to go through the presets today. Exit stage left. Let's give this some drive. Okay, we'll come back. We're up to number 4 now. This is the delay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add something else. We're going to add like a, what do we add? I can't think what it's called. Why can't I think? A Zoa. Oops. We want to go connect. Not to so what. Okay. Let's actually connect this to some blips and blobs. Just for fun. All right. So I'm going to try something a little bit different. So we'll go over. Let's do this Spelldoser just for fun. We'll send this out to Spelldoser. Maybe. Take you off there. And all out. So we've got Spelldoser here. Nice. And we're all connected. Why are we not getting any sound there from this MIDI? I don't know. What's going on? MIDI. Oh, did I go out or in? No, we're all good. We're out. To Spelldoser. Try it again. Spelldoser. So we've definitely got sound. And it's not working. You know what? Let's come back over here if that's not the case. So we've got a delay. We'll just kill this. We'll do that later. And with our delay, we have, of course, our time for our delay. We've got a short delay and a long delay. We'll get more of an effect on this later in the other thing that I'm doing. We've got feedback, of course. And we've got an LFO, and you can switch between your different waveforms of the LFO. So we can go to a sine here. We can change the rate of the LFO. Nice long rate. Of course, we've got an LFO sync, so we can sync it to our DAW, and we've also got a time sync for the delay. And we have a mix button, so let's take out... Oh man, now I'm in heaven. Exactly, that was my thoughts too, Ed. Oh man. Bonkers. We can slow it down even further, add some drive. So again, let's go to our options here. Look at all these options. We've got an echo, a ping pong. Now we've got these tones here. So we're currently on the legacy tone. Now this legacy tone is probably the darkest of the tones. So you can hear when we move to analog, this is more like the original kind of analog tone. And then we've got a more modern. I love this one. We got the timing can be loose or strict. I mean, this is just wicked stuff. The feedback mode can be legacy or modern. Really wonderful stuff in here. And up the top here with our CVs, we can connect things like time, feedback, LFO rate, LFO amount, and mix. What? What was that? That sounds like my stomach in the morning. I am hoping to have maybe one of each to give away on Patreon. I have to hit up the wonderful people at Moog after, of course, after the show. I have to do a decent show, man, if I'm going to ask for some to give away. Ew, man, I love that. Remember, you can throw an LFO on this. Less known fact, the circuit board you see shining through the settings are actual boards from the original pedals. We opened them up and took pictures specifically for this. See, this is why I love you guys. The amount of love into this is just... I don't think I've ever loved a human being as much. Oh, man. Listen to that shit. Should we just quickly add in everything else we got? It is, isn't it, Mars? So nerdy. There we go. So I haven't gone through all these. So remember, these are currently $39. They're $40. They're going to go up. So, I mean, as you saw, the actual pedals on Reverb are like thousands of dollars. It's ridiculous. So we can time sync, LFO sync. Yeah, $40 for all of them. It's nuts. That's US. In Australia here it's a lot more because our dollar's worth shit. Okay, what's next? Told you it's going to be long, guys. All right, so we've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is my favorite. This is my favorite. It is what it is. This is the Murph. Now the Murph is just, man. Are you ready? So we have basically a list of filters here, like an EQ. Let's pop over to the settings first, and we have a pattern editor. Oh dear. Oh dear. And we can go in here and mess with these. And then we can change our patterns. We've got a pattern switch in the middle. Oh dear. Going to give this some output. We've got a rate for our patterns, and you can control which frequency you'd like to remove. Let me just show you. I'm going to take it all. So we've just got the animation here. How cool, huh? So now we've only got the 1.5K, 450, 200, and our patterns. Oh dear. Let's go into the mix and let me show you something. Because going to take it down to 1. So even at 1, where there's nothing happening, watch, you can go in and EQ this and, good Lord, and bring in different frequencies of this chord. Imagine this for drones. Delicious. And I don't know yet, I haven't looked. Is it in here? Do we have the filters? Mix, we've got our envelope, output gain drive. Can't see it in there. That would be cool, but can't see it. So let's go through our patterns. This is number 2. And of course you can change the rate and the envelope. This is pattern 4. Listen to that bouncing around there. I hope you've got headphones on, folks. It's a joy. Filter slider. Oh, I didn't scroll. Good, I'm an idiot. There they are. So you can animate these. You can modulate these as well. You can go in here. You could run MLFO and have, because that's got 16 LFOs in it, and you could run all these 8 and have them all moving at different times. Fuck me drunk. You can sync these up. We've got a reset button down the bottom here too. And you can actually go in here and alter these yourself. So you can alter the patterns yourself. You can clear patterns from here. You can put them in randomly. You've got factory pattern. You can change the envelope mode. I mean, it's mental. All right, presets. Let's have a hopscotch, perpetual motion. And we've got an LFO here as well. And our frequency can control the mids or the bass. Just nuts, 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 nuts. Lots of presets. Well, you know, Frank Terzo, as I said at the beginning, I went through the history of Moog at the beginning of the show. And, you know, it's an amazing story, man. Without Moog, modern synthesis wouldn't be here. It just is what it is. And as I said at the beginning of the show, there was pushback, man. And Robert Moog began making synthesis, creating synthesis, analog synthesis. People thought it was the end of the world. much like AI now, people are like, no, we can't have it. It's the end of the world. All right, let's look at the next one. So we're up to 107, which is the the freak box. So this is a VCO, and this will take your sound and we have a selection of waveforms down here, and take those frequencies we can sync and we can control movement with our envelope. We've got an FM amount in here as well. Getting ready for the brown noise. Look at that. It's just fuzz now, listen. Our controls on the back, stereo mono, frequency and level. So you can control what the envelope controls, what we're going to see with movement from. So only the frequency or the level, or just only the frequency now. Should we do it? What was that one? DJE. Now you're probably wondering what I'm doing here. I'm bringing all the pedals in. And you can make these smaller, remember. So I'm looking for a specific pedal here. I'm looking for one that's got in it. Let's see what we've got. So we've got all these active now, but they're all turned off. All these are turned off. I've unswitched them. So now we're going to head back over here. And I want to find one that's active with an LFO. So we just connected MF104 the LFO from MF104 to our frequency. So now this pedal here, the LFO is controlling the frequency in here. So now if we head back here, whoa! So let's do something else. I'm just going to choose randomly. Let's get something to control the waveform, something else. So we've got our wave plug here. So we're going to hit the CV and we can go down the list. Let's find another LFO randomly. Have I got one connected, the right one? I really should check that, but here we go. Now, and you can control the level of control that is being had over these. So we've got the MF102, this one. Now it's not active here. So I've got this turned off, but it's controlling another pedal. I can now turn this on as well. Fucking insane, man. Let's go through some presets with this. Oh, let's bring that right down. Let's throw in some presets. Now we've still got these being controlled. I just want to destroy sound today. Thank you all for joining me today and hanging out for so long. Probably got another 20 odd minutes. Okay, we'll just disconnect this one. Next up, we have the cluster flux. So this is a chorus and a flanger. If you don't know how a chorus works, it works off a delay. Yeah, and a flange. It's also got the ability to do some pretty other wild stuff, like this. So we're on the flange at the moment. Whoa! It's almost like a ring modulated flange. I'm in experimental heaven right now. Open the gates! Let's take a look at the back here. So we've got a echo and a ping pong for our delay. We've got legacy, tone, and modern. So the legacy is always going to be darker. Loose timing. We can go so out of phase here. We can go wet, dry, all in phase. Whoa. Left wet. Let's flick it over to chorus. Now remember, we can connect an LFO to another LFO. We've already got one LFO. We can connect another LFO to the other LFO. So I've connected to the feedback down here from our MF105, the sequence phase. Let's go over to number 5. Love that. It's like a spring bending. And of course, like all of these, you can sync it to your DAW. Some presets. Now with your controls up here, when you've got things connected via CV, you can go negative as well, and you can start creating things even like some real pumping, side chaining kind of things. Okay, we're at our last one. We'll just turn this off. And this is the saturator. This is actually one that's not, I don't think, a real pedal. I'm going to take out so we've got an envelope, a follow rate, sensitivity of the envelope, the amount, and our tone here. We've got a band pass for the tone. We've got a notch, high pass, low pass, stereo noise, smooth response, stereo envelope. Again, presets up the wazoo. There we go. That's what I was looking for. You can switch between white and red noise. Okay, so they are the 8 pedals. Let's go out and play something. First, we'll do something crazy. We'll make some kind of really crazy thing to end with. But for now, I just want to jump over quickly to Logic and give you a quick explanation of how to connect everything if you're creating tracks in Logic, because Logic's the new thing. It's the cool kids on the block. Yeah, it's delicious. Shall we grab... We'll jump over to it. We'll add an audio track. We'll add some drums. We'll add a drummer in here. We want something electronic. Slow this down a bit. That'll just do for now. We'll put a loop on here. And we'll jump into our file browser and see if we can find some funky bass. Yeah, bass. We got anything funky? Yeah, that's it, bitch. With a bit bada boom, bada boom, 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 yeah. Scooby dooby dooby doo, boom, booby doo boo. Funky. So to find all of your stuff, you can search MF, like motherfucker. MF, and you're going to find them all. Oops, didn't want that. Let's kill this track. Now check this out. Here's what's fascinating. Now you see how when I go now to connect to CV, all the other plugins that are open over in AUM are available for me to open here. What the absolute F? Do you see that shit? So the 109's here. So I can set the envelope. Oh my God. So this is sick. Let's take the LFO from number 4. As long as they're open somewhere in any door, you don't even need to have something open here in Logic. You can have AUM open in the background or something running in the background with these effects, and it's going to pick them up. They're so intelligently designed that they're able to detect on the iPad when another Moogerfooger is open, right? So you can see when I go over here, I've only got 2 of them open. I've only got 1 of them open here in Logic. It's this one, this ring modulator. That's all I have, right? So when I click over here, look at them all. They're all still open over there in AUM, and I'm able to use what's going on over there. And here we have our frequency being controlled by one of the plugins over in AUM. I know what you're thinking. But if I wanted to control it from in here as well, the same thing. I'd just go over to this drum track. Let's add a phaser. Damn. Let's just say it, shall we? Moog, can you make all the apps from now on? Listen to that phaser, man. What's done to those drums? Now, here's where it can get really, really difficult, right? Where this fantastic system comes into play. Because we've got all the AUM versions open as well, you really have to pay attention to this here, yeah? Because I want this to now control the bass tone, the frequency, the resonator. So LEUC. So we're going to go over here to the ring modulator and look for LEUC in our list, and we'll control the LFO amount. So LEUC is what we're looking for, and there it is down the bottom. LEUC. So there you go. Now our phaser LFO is controlling the LFO amount. Really easy to set this stuff up, yeah? It's gonna, I'm sure without those little individual codes, it'd get super confusing, but it is what it is. We have this. What a great idea. Okay, there you go. Let me jump out of this project. So if I close this project, hopefully it'll kill all of those. So how amazing. All these open over here was making it all happen over there. Pretty sick stuff. Let's clear this. Let's go out and make some noise. Let me tell you what's going on there. So I'm going to go out. We will play today as featured artist, who is Desolate Morning, an amazing artist. I'm going to mess around and mess around with a drone for a bit, or some noise, and we'll go out and play Desolate Morning's brand new track. And remember, in about half an hour time, you've got Dom Torregrossa doing some songs, and he's got Lady Campion on with him. She's amazing as well. So I want to thank you all for hanging out with me today, as always, and supporting the channel and all that jazz. I hope you've got a lot out of this and you can make an informed decision on which ones are right for you, or just get the whole bundle, man. You can't go wrong, can you? $39. It is just criminal. Let me tell you what's happening tomorrow on the show, and we'll cover all what's going on for the rest of the week. Tomorrow on the show, we are taking a look at, if I can get my shit together, what is going on here. We're taking a look at Terra Pro's brand new in-app purchase. You're not going to want to miss it, because I'm going to show you some cool stuff you probably didn't know. Thank you, my friend, and thank you for hanging out. It's a real honor to have you here and hang out. So thank you so much. Thank you for making such great apps. Love your work. All right. Then we've got a fantastic show happening on Thursday for you guys. Guess who's coming on the show? We got Nick Culbertson from Moby Pixel coming on, sponsored by DistroKid. We're going to pick this man's brains. He's an amazing YouTuber. He's an app developer with literally hundreds of apps available on the App Store. There he is right there. He's in the chat hanging out sneakily. What's going on, Nick? I'm super excited to have this incredibly talented human being on the show. So we will be chatting with him. Also, I am taking a look also on Friday. We're looking at this bundle here, the SSSTK Studio Toolkit bundle. And then on the weekend, I'm going to be singing live on the show, singing some crooners, some classic crooner tracks. Awesome stuff. It was supposed to happen last week. It's happening this week. All right, let's mess around with a drone, and then we shall play our featured artist. Let's go. Open up AUM, and I've got something already happening. Should I just make it from start? Oh, no. We'll go the one I've got. All right. Are you ready? It's going to get mental. Yes, sometimes you do get ads, Jim. It's how we make money here on YouTube. I don't know if you know that. Oh, you can buy premium and not get them. Let's do this. This is a project. Awesome. Let's go out and play today's featured artist, who is, of course, Desolate Morning. Amazing artist here in the community, a doom metal artist. I've been following his stuff for a really long time. He's really awesome. This is his brand new track called Crimson Dusk. Let's do it. Remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. We'll see you tomorrow. Hit that fucking like on the way out!
together. 'Cause you make me shine better.